Hi, I'm Natalie,
And I'm Elizabeth.
and our article is based on the effects of the current market forces on the impact of a TV commercial. The objective of the study is to provide information that can be used to help create advertising with the potential to generate greater sales in a context of other variables. The objective is not to reduce the role of creative process, but rather to provide guidelines that could help shape a commercial. This study investigates the extent to which extenuating factors affect the extent to which an advertisement is persuasive. The data used has been collected from over 5,000 TV commercials in the United States and has identified the existing market structure and common themes. The purpose of the study is to break apart the various strategic and executional market elements and to examine the relative roles of major elements of any advertisement program. That was found on page 121. This included the market structure, selling proposition, strategic communication, and various executional variables. The object of the study is to provide information that can be used to help create advertising with the potential to generate greater sales in the context of other variables.
So under the introduction section of the article, it says that the definition of a successful commercial is defined by increasing sales results. If there are not more sales, then the commercial is not doing its job well. However, it may be too much to ask of an ad to significantly move sales all on its own. In fact, there are quite a few other contributing factors that go into sales. So some of these include sale and trade promotions, sales training, product quality, distribution advantages, pricing programs, sampling, and many, many others. So a few of these are listed here, and in the article you'll see that there's like 3 pages of factors that go into this. However, we just picked out a few that intrigued us and we thought were interesting and important. So there's a list of advertising elements that are examined in the study, and as you can see, there's such things as music and dancing that they looked at, including like if there's music present, is there dancing, is it well-known music, is it continuous, is it kind of spotty, the setting, is it indoor, outdoor, none at all, who are the main characters, are they males, females, children, an animal, an animated character of some sort. So there's just a lot of factors that went into examining this study.
So for the method, the data used in the studies is provided by RSC, and that's the Research System Corporations, which has been an international leader in the field of ad testing and measuring. The database of over 5,000 copy tests and on over 1,300 different brands and over 150 different product categories. A quote from the article that we took out is, "We obtained the persuasion score from actual advertising tests conducted on the target audience selected by the advertiser. This is extremely important in many advertising studies and are conducted on convenience samples rather than the actual target audience for the commercial." And that was found on page 123. They use the ARS persuasion metric, and that is a branded variable created by RSC to measure commercials and their selling power, which is demonstrated to show that the score is highly related to the ability of commercial to change the behavior of the buyer. And for example, when a commercial scores the 7+ on the ARS persuasion metric, that means they have a 97% chance of moving the business ahead, and that's more than half a share point. However, if they scored 3.3+, so a lower average, the brand suffered and had a declining sale period. While this article explains no quantitative system is perfect, data suggests that the dependent measure used in this and previous research is acceptable surrogate for sales or market performance?
So in this study, there were 4 independent variables. So the first one is market structure, and under that it said it is well documented that the ability to create new sales is influenced by the current structure of the brand. And this includes such things as brand market, the number of competing brands, and brand loyalty. So the second independent variable is the selling propositions. And it said that the ability to persuade equals the strength of the selling proposition. So, for example, saying, buy this because it will make your life easier and give you much more time to yourself is much more likely to be persuasive than simply saying, buy this from us because we need the money. So ARS has created a methodology used by their clients to tease apart the persuasive ability of the selling proposition from the persuasive ability of the commercial. The process creates a test that takes the selling proposition as presented by the client and a nondescript voiceover commercial and creates, without any graphics, background, or other executional elements in a commercial that is presented to the respondents with the traditional behavior change protocol. The third independent variable is the strategic elements. This includes variables that the advertising agency would be provided by the brand's persuasive appeal, but that the ad agency can't create on its own. So this includes the differentiating key message of the brand, new feature, new product convenience, competitive comparison, brand name reinforces benefit, and superiority claim. So the fourth and final independent variable in this study is the executional elements. So there's a debate on the importance of execution and the message. The arguments of creative execution, license versus concept discipline have persisted as long as advertising agencies have existed, actually. So the 2 men that are highlighted in the article as being on opposite sides of this argument are David Ogilvy and William Birnbach. Ogilvy says that what you say is more important than how you say it, which argues the importance of the message over other factors, while Birnbach says that execution can become content. It can be as important as what you say, which argues that the creative execution of it is just as important as the message itself.
So also had a dependent variable. The desired measure for the dependent variable was sales guaranteed by the advertising message or the extent to which the commercial was persuasive. In this study, the dependent variable is the ARS persuasion score. Previous research indicated a high degree of validity between the calculated measure of persuasion and the actual sales.
So what you see here is a model in the article used to analyze the different variables. We are not even going to try to explain this because, as you can see, that's a really long equation and we're not really sure exactly what it means. But as you can see, there it is, and you can see the different parts of it. So, for example, C is the number of commercials from 1 to 5,000, N1 is the number of strategic elements, N2 is the number of recall and communication elements, N3 is the number of executional elements, and N4 is the number of market structure. So do with that what you will. If you want to try to plug some numbers into that, go for it. But just do that on your own time.
So there's results from this lab, and it said that it should come as no surprise that a superior selling proposition was strongly related to the ARS persuasion score. And the likelihood of any commercial being very persuasive without a superior selling proposition is very low. The second largest factor in explaining persuasion was selling proposition. Though it is important to say things in an engaging and perhaps humorous way, what you can actually say is quite important. And the last one is obtaining recall and delivering the key message content can make the difference between a bad campaign and a great campaign.
So we just have a couple of points as to what we think you can really take from this and what we think is really important from this. So the first one of these is that while the commercial is a big part of selling a product, it's not the end all be all of making sure that sales are successful. There are so many other factors that go into making a prosperous campaign and advertisement.
And the last point that we thought was important is to not have the over top distractions. While humor in a story is very important, make sure you actually deliver the key message in a way that is memorable. I think sometimes we can get easily distracted with the over top humor in a story that we don't even see what the key message is actually trying to point out.
Yeah. And that's it.